Alrighty. So good morning, everyone. I know that you know much of the content that's in these presentations. So I'll be adding in commentary to be helpful, hopefully, and to update you on a few things. I thought we could start with a quick round of interviews. I know that usually takes a little bit of time, but just so we all know who we are and we have it in the recording, maybe your name and your organization that you're with. And then let's do one quick fun thing. I know people don't always love those fun things, but we'll do one quick fun thing is just one quick thing that your organization's doing for the summer or planning to do for the summer. Just maybe a date and what the title is, or if you're trying something to just real short one statement, just so folks know. So I'll just start. Samantha, I'm with ZAP. And we are bringing back, for the first time in over 3 years, the Summer Kids Passport Program, and currently have already printed 18,000 passports to be distributed through Salt Lake County, Salt Lake City, and the Murray Library System. And we are actually going to also have a big final destination at the end of the program this year in August. Daniel, you want to hit it off next, and we'll just keep moving along?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Daniel Sturgios. I am the ZAP Grant and Communications Coordinator. I've been with ZAP since fall of 21. And my pronouns are he, him. And let's see, fun fact, I'm helping survey the Hairspray show that's going on tonight, which is one of my favorite musicals. And then I'm also very excited about the Kids Summer Passport, and I got one right here, so you can all see that. It's gonna be very fun.
All righty, thanks, Daniel. Beth Branson.
Hi, Beth Branson. I'm with Spy Hop Productions, and let's see, a fun thing we're doing this summer is on July 27th. We're having our Heatwave Festival, which is kind of an annual festival where our youth rock band does an awesome performance, and we have a bunch of music celebrations all day long. So good to see y'all.
Susan Campbell.
Hi, I'm Susan Campbell, Salt Lake City Arts Council. I'm the Community Investment and Development Manager, she, her pronouns. And we have our annual Living Traditions Festival coming up in May. That's May 19th through the 21st. And then, of course, Twilight concert series, which I'm sure most people are aware of. So yeah, that's what we have going on. Thanks.
And for those who haven't met Chloe Jones, Chloe.
Hi, everyone. I'm Chloe Jones. I am the new Executive Director at Utah Presents over at University of Utah. We are pretty quiet in the summer, although we are partnering, I think for the first time, with Egyptian Youth Theater this year. And we're kicking off our next season a little early in August with a piece by choreographer Joanna Katza featuring 24 local dancers. And those are just 15-minute outdoor free performances. So that will be the sort of end of our summer and the start of next season. Thanks.
Graham.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you say my name. It cut out right as all I heard was E. So I didn't think it was me, but it's me. Hi, everybody. I'm Jody Graham, Utah Humanities. Just like Chloe, our summer is also quiet. But this weekend, today and tomorrow, we are partnering with the Division of Arts and Museums to do Utah Poetry Festival. So there will be a bunch of local poets featured today and tomorrow. If you wanted to tune in and see any of that, it's all on Zoom. And then we just hired a new director of literary programming. So we will potentially have some cool literary events happening in December, but we just hired him 2 seconds ago. So more to come on that. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Derek Dyer.
Hello, my name is Derek Dyer. I'm the Executive Director of Utah Arts Alliance, he, him pronouns. The new thing we're doing this summer, is going to be a collaborative event that we are throwing with Salt Lake County Arts and Culture, and it's going to be called the Wild Wild West Side Art Fest. And so we're focusing on diverse cultures representing mostly West Side artists and organizations and things like that. We're going to host it this first year at Mid Valley and probably next year at the Art Castle. So that's our new thing we're doing this summer.
Donna Staples. If you can't,
I got it. Thanks. Hi,
okay.
everybody. I'm Donna Staples. I work with Health Center Theater. I'm one of the donor relations specialists. And we are excited to have for the third season our cultural celebration series that'll be on 6 different Monday nights during the summer. And we're just inviting all the kids and their families to come and experience some different cultures that they may not know something about through art, music, dance. So hopefully maybe some of you can come, and it is outside right in front of our theater here in Sandy.
Erica?
Did you say Erica? Is that me?
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. I'm Erica Allen, she, her, hers, Director of Development at Salt Lake Acting Company. And we are actually opening a play tonight, yoga play. And then we are getting ready to do our summer show, Slack Cabaret, which is going to be called Slack Summer Show. But July 12th is when we open, and we run all summer long. So happy to be here, and it's good to see you all.
July 12th, did you say, or June 12th?
I said July 12th.
Right.
Yes.
Kevin? Audio's not quite working yet. If you can't, we can skip and come back.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. Kevin Myriop, Finance Manager for Utah Presents. We will wrap up our season on Monday night with the Ukulele Orchestra of Great Britain.
Oh, sorry, Jeff. Yep, it's you. Oh, we can't hear you. Sorry, you're right. We can't hear you.
Hi, me? This Jeff?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Hi. I'm Jeff Doran. I'm our new development director at Pioneer Theater Company. And I am going to take a stab at this because I'm just learning what we do here, only a few months in. This summer, we're going to bring back our play-by-play project, which a number of directors and playwrights come and we workshop their pieces of work where we have people from the community come and audit and give their input. So it's a really cool program because some of these pieces will now go out into the public with our stamp on it and our participation. So super excited about that this summer, but I think Chloe mentioned we kind of slow down a little bit other than that and get ready to gear up for the new year. So happy to be here, happy to meet all of you.
Kristen? You're still on mute, Kristen. Still on mute. It's towards the bottom of the tool on the left. Okay. Lisa, did we hit you yet?
No, you haven't.
Okay, let's do it.
I'm grants manager with Utah Symphony, Utah Opera. My name is Lisa Poppleton. And we're outdoors all summer long, presenting music of many different styles. We're doing free concerts at the Gallivan Center and Utah Cultural Celebration Center. And then we spend 6 weeks at the Deer Valley Music Festival. This will be our 19th season presenting that in Park City. And then this summer we're doing a statewide tour in August for free concerts in, let's see, Huntsville, Fountain Green, Spring City, Escalante, and Teasdale. I think I got it all. So on the road a lot this summer.
Great, thanks, Lisa. Sherry, Utah Presents.
Hi everyone, Sherry Jardine from Utah Presents. I'm the content manager and this is my second year writing ZAP for us, so I'm excited about that. And Chloe and Kevin kind of covered our upcoming. We'll be announcing our new season though at kind of end of May, early June, so that will be exciting as well.
Yeah. It looks like Sandra. Oops, Sandra?
Hello, yes. My name is Sandra and I'm with Tracy Aviary. And one new thing that's finally starting is construction on our Jordan River Nature Center. It's been a few years that we've been working on that, but they're finally moving dirt, so.
Wonderful, thanks for that update. Jamie Ferguson. Jamie, we can come back to you. It looks like you're still on mute, so we can come back to you. Let's move. Oh, Tony Millett.
Hey everybody, Tony Millett at the Natural History Museum of Utah. And this summer, well, I guess it's before summer, in a week here, we're wrapping up our Angkor Empire of Cambodia exhibit. And then starting in June, we have a new exhibit on wildlife rehabilitation.
We go back up to the top. I'm going to say your name completely wrong. Amaris? Is that how you say it? Could you correct me?
That's right. Hi, I'm Amaris with Utah Arts Alliance. I'm the grants manager. Another fun thing we have going on right now is the Connect program. It's an event the second Friday of every month. So one is happening tonight where new, emerging, or established artists can share their work with the public. And it's really great events to meet lots of Utah artists and see what people are making. So yeah, highly recommend you check it out.
You reminded me of something, so I had to take a note. Apologies for the pause on that. All right, we have Cassette. Did I say your name? I'm sure I did, but I'm just going to ask.
You did, yes.
Great.
I'm Cosette. I'm the Philanthropy and Grants Coordinator at the Natural History Museum of Utah. And something that I'm very excited about this summer is every year we do our big annual fundraising gala. And this year that's happening at the beginning of June. So we're looking forward to that.
Looks like Kristen and I think Jamie are the only two that we haven't had a chance to talk. So if you're able to turn on your microphones, great. If not, oh, and Mabel, sorry about that.
Yeah, this is Jamie Gregerson. Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties today. But I work for Utah Humanities. I'm the Director of Finance and Operations. And we have all kinds of grant programming going on. But one thing that I wanted to highlight was another organization's ZAP funded event that I attended actually last night at Spy Hop. I saw Beth there, which was great. And they just had the coolest performance. Yes, my niece was part of the band, so I'm a little biased about how great it was, but it truly was just this awesome performance. First concert, first band performance for these kids, these 15, 16, 17-year-old kids, called The Day Side, and they were so good. So it was really fun to be at Spy Hop and check that out.
Mabel, is your audio working? Maybe not. Still not going. Okay. Kristen, were you able to fix yours or no? No.
Let's see. Is it working now?
Yep.
Okay. Hi. Hi, I'm Mabel Flores. I'm the development coordinator for Utah's Hogle Zoo. And we are very excited to soon be kicking off our Zoo Brews. So select Wednesday nights throughout the summer. Come and enjoy some brews at the zoo. And then beginning of September, we are moving to a Friday for the first time ever for our annual fundraising gala, Zoo Rendezvous. So exciting things happening. And I'm with the aviary on construction where we're starting to pour foundation for our new Wild Utah exhibit. So that's been exciting since we've experienced a lot of snow delays. And now potentially flooding, It's just wonderful.
Yeah, our Parks and Rec manager and our comms person were very busy yesterday, starting that whole process for the county. So that should be really fun this year again. And just a reminder of all your great events to put them on Now Playing Utah. Of course, I know you know that already, but just a little plug for that, for you to post your events and get those up there. Okay, we're going to go ahead and go through the PowerPoint. Again, I know that you know a lot of this content, so it's going to be probably more of the commentary and the new updates based on the email I sent, as well as some other ones. So let me go ahead and share my screen and get that up here. All righty, can everyone see that? It looks good? Okay, wonderful. I'll move pretty fast, but I will stop a few times to look at the screen. I'm not able to see who has their hands up for questions just yet, but this is being recorded, and thank you so much for muting your mics and answering the questions at the beginning to introduce yourself. We've passed our introductions. We're going to talk a little bit about ZAP. Then we'll move into some eligibility criteria, the scoring and review process that go along with that. We'll do a very short demo in the application software you know as Zoom Grants. We'll talk about our very favorite thing of all the ZAP pieces, our qualifying expenditures worksheet, because we just love spending time in there. And then we'll have some questions at the end. All righty. So you know the team. It is Daniel and myself, and we are at the Mid-Valley Performing Arts Center. We are currently going to be interviewing for an assistant for the first time. We've been able to get some dollars to have an assistant. It will be part-time, but year-round, so that'll be wonderful. So we'll have a new person probably as summer program gets ready to kick off officially. We'll have someone on board and we'll introduce you to them soon. We're going to talk a little bit about applicants and our board members as we go, but the board is of 11 members, and here's them at work. Launched in 1997, it's 1%, 1/10 of 1%, as you know, which is a pretty wonderful amount, and it's turned out to be a great program. Annually, it's about $25 million that goes to Tier 1, Zoo, and Tier 2. And you can see the numbers here around the 25 organizations reaching about 5 million people. These are some of the review tools. I'm a little bit pained to provide this to you because you've seen it before and you know where it is, but and the fact that we're getting a new website, the design is basically done. We just need to decide when we want to launch it, if it's more painful to do before the summer program or less painful to do after the summer program. But just want to remind you that we would love to see you invite board members and get on our newsletter mailing list and invite council members. Our board members are working hard to take more photos while they're at your events, as well as introduce themselves when they're there. We will post that on social media, as well as they'll be doing some brand auditing. So they'll let us know how they thought the branding was at different venues and different events. Again, if some of your staff aren't on the newsletter, it looks like this when it comes in. And we'd love to have you be a part of it. If you want to also have content for a particular month that you want to submit, we'd love to include your pieces. As you remember, this month in April, we're going to be focusing a little bit on organizations that are able to provide services or help or accommodations for those with on the spectrum, those with autism or similar like sensory issues. We've gotten some input from organizations that we're going to be able to put in the newsletter, but if you haven't had a chance and you want to share what your organization does for children or families that experience autism in their lives and or related things like ADHD and sensory, we'd love to include your stories in our social media and newsletter. Here's our social media channels. We don't yet have LinkedIn, which we've talked about, but we will be soon getting that. But we'd love to have you participate in linking with us on your posts if you'd like to recognize ZAP, and vice versa if you'd like us to recognize you. One particular area I'm going to do a plug for here is your free days or discount days. A lot of times we get phone calls when you have a free day and we don't know about it and we don't know who to direct them to on your team or how to answer those questions. So knowing about it beforehand would be great. If you want us to plug it, some people don't. They prefer we not plug it, but just know about it until the day of or afterwards, talking about how the success of it. We're happy to come to your discount days or your free ZAP days and take photos and interact with folks and get it up on our social media afterwards or the day of, or again, before. This is how you invite. This is what it looks like. Some of you have done this before. We really do encourage our board members. Since you're part of Tier 1 and Zoo, we only have the board members from Tier 1 and Zoo be able to participate in comped tickets. The rule for comped tickets is each board member may accept 2 comp tickets per organization per year. So I know sometimes you're offered 6 or 8 of them, and that might be a couple different board members coming rather than just one bringing a large group. More information about getting the council members and other members in the tools on our website would be inviting them. Now we'll move into some of the more dried pieces. You know all of this eligibility. Clearly, all of you qualified that's on this phone call. You've been part of the program for some time. That criteria to qualify has not changed, except we didn't update this, and I apologize for that. But line 2, where it says 3-year average qualifying expenditures of $378,300, I apologize. That should be now $390,000, and we did update that and share that with you in an email that provided several different updates of some things that were approved. So it's $390,000. We know that everyone in Tier 1 currently for the 2023 year would qualify for the 24 year. So no one's in any great danger of being close to that number of 390,000. You know the disciplines already for the most part, but these are all the disciplines that are acceptable to move into or be part of Tier 1 in Zoological. And also, most of you know what's not eligible. We just want to emphasize a couple things. We know that next year is a big election year and potentially a good fundraising year. But please do not put your lobbying expenses or public art. I know more people are starting to move to public art, which we love. And we can support things around public art, like promoting the public art item, having a party around the public art. We just can't support the installation of the actual permanent item. ZAP doesn't get involved in those kind of permanent items of capital improvements or capital projects. So again, we'd be happy to help share any kind of public art things you're trying to do in the community. We just can't actually pay for the capital product of that, as well as scholarships, rodeos, neighborhood parties, fireworks, things like that, that we'll be doing much more of this summer post-COVID. Here's some of the board members. We have 7 Tier 1 and Zoological board members on our board. They serve 3-year terms. They can serve up to 2 3-year terms. We do not have anybody changing from 23 to 24. So this year will be the same lead reviewers as last year. Maybe not for your organization as we change those around and rotate those individuals, but it will be the same board considering your applications as did last year. Again, there's 25 total organizations. I'll be sending an email to you, I'm hoping by end of May, telling you who your lead reviewer is, and they'll contact you in June, July, and August to spend their time. So expect an email from me in end of May of who your lead reviewer and an introduction email with your contact information and their contact information to get connected for them. They should be coming out to attend an event, meet your staff, and if possible, attend at least one board meeting over the summer or early fall. So think about when your board meetings are, and as soon as that person contacts you, I do the virtual introduction, please think about getting them to a board meeting. It's really important. And I know sometimes we only have quarterly board meetings and that can be rough. So just think about that. As you know, here's the criteria. There's 5 different categories. Each category is scored separately of a 0 to 7 score by your lead reviewer and then reviewed by the rest of the remaining board to discuss these different topics. Again, this goes more into each topic about what helps you qualify or makes an excellent application for the board to consider. And so it's artistic and cultural vibrancy, public benefit and outreach, organizational capacity, governing board, and financial health are the 5 categories. And so again, this helps, this guide right here helps you determine ways to have an excellent application. This is a little bit about a scoring review. We've already opened applications, as you know, on the 3rd. Today is the 14th, and we're having this workshop. May 31 is a Wednesday, so just be careful when you're thinking about that week if you're kind of waiting to get certain paperwork in or documents. Weird enough, the last business day of May lands on a Wednesday, so just know the applications close on a Wednesday, not a Friday. June through August or sort of September, they review the applications. Then the advisory board makes the recommendation finalization in fall and gets that to council. Council will review and hopefully approve at the end of the year. And then we're hoping this year, unlike last year, that we will have the contracts webinar like this and get contracts signed before December. I know this year was a challenge for us and we were not able to get that done, but our goal is to get contracts signed and done by the end of this year. Grants are kind of in a 10-month payment cycle. I think most all you know this, that we start your first payment you receive is in June of every year. So this June, we will pay you for April, May, and June. Weird enough, we take those 3 regular monthly payments and we pay you a big kind of chunk in June. And then it's regular payments of a monthly amount for the rest of the year until April. And then April, we pay you, I don't know the best way to say this, but a balloon payment. We pay you the last of whatever is owed to you. This year, we are processing those right now for you. I know a couple people have had inquiries to me about what their dollar amount is. I apologize if I haven't gotten back to you. I can share that with you now. The payments are ready to basically go and out the door, and I think you'll be happy. I just want to mention that I don't want to talk about any details, but I think that you'll be happy with that final payment for your last cycle, the 22 cycle. This is the annual cycle. We just kind of mentioned that, but this is a little bit of a graphic that helps as you think about visualizing how each year goes, as we try to stick to this seasonal, where the spring we open applications, summer is the review process, fall is finalization by the advisory board and by council. And then at the end of the year, the last holiday months, we try to do the contracts webinar, contract signing, and then be ready for making payments the next year. Similar piece, we just talked about it a second ago about contract signing, first payment, and final payment. So it sounds weird to think this far in advance, but it is this far in advance when we think about the funding cycle. Okay, I'm going to stop here for just a second and pull up the screen so I can see all of you. Does anyone have any questions about that? I just talked so quickly that I can answer now. And if I owe you anything regarding your dollar amounts, the payments are going out right away, but you're welcome to text me or re-email me. I will go through my emails. Daniel thought it was important to take a vacation to Japan for a couple weeks. And so I just haven't had a chance to get back to everyone. And he had a great time and he's home safe and healthy. So anyway, can I answer any questions for anyone? Or even if I owe you something now, you can tell me and I can write it down and get back to you today or Monday. I feel so terrible if I owe anyone anything for your dollar amount for this next coming pay period that's happening now this month. Okay, I hear silence. All right. We are going to get into Zoom grants. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pull that up for you and share my screen again. Okay. Oh gosh, I don't think I'm getting in the demo portion of this. This is going to stink. Let me ask this question that might be most helpful as I pull this up really quick. Has everyone had a chance and gotten into your application for Zoom grants for this year? Because I know a couple people had issues finding the application for 24 because it's been an entire year since you've had to go find and add it to your portfolio. But is there anyone that needs a walking through or a reminder, refresher of how to get in and find your 2024 application? I don't hear or see anyone. Am I missing anyone? No? Okay.
I would. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. No problem. No problem at all.
Diane can probably fill me in a lot. But yeah, I would love to.
Okay. So I don't know if you can pull up your own Zoom grants. That might be the best thing to do, and we can walk through it just quickly with these instructions. Give me 1 sec. I'm going to So what you're looking for is you're looking for this subject title here. In here, as you can see that this one is what you're looking for. The ZAP 2024 Tier 1 Zoological application. Each year, unfortunately, you have to pull that out and find it and then put it in there. And there's a couple steps to do that. So for anyone who hasn't done that, sorry, I'm trying to do something. You'll go into your Zoom grants and log in. So if you're all logged in, that would be wonderful. We'll take the next step. Has everyone been able to log in, or we need to help getting logged in? Do we need login help? I'm sorry. I'm going to try and take this off the screen just so I can see you. I'm so sorry.
You know what? I apologize. I'm going to speak up again. I think Diane still is getting everything, and this is my first stab at ZAP. So maybe she can walk me through it. I think she has the application.
Okay.
So my apologies.
Okay, that's okay. How about everyone else? Is everyone else? I'm so sorry. I think I can hear someone, but I can't tell. Does someone else need help logging in themselves or finding the application and adding it into your program? No, everyone's good there? Okay, so Jeff, if you have any issues with Diane, we actually enjoy providing technical support. We set up half an hour little tutorials all the time. Or if you just want a really simple written instructions, that if Diane can, we've got those as well. We just send a little, 5-step process. So I can do that for you, no problem at all.
Great, thanks.
Sorry.
I'll reach out, but I would love the written as well. That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
Thank
okay,
you.
okay, we'll put that down.
Thanks.
No problem. Sorry, I hear an echo. Maybe if everybody wants to mute. Okay, good, great. All righty, thanks for your patience. Okay, so for the applications of 2024, are there questions that anyone might have? I know that sometimes the application questions come around things like who you can add and how you can add people to your program so that people can all collaborate on that. Does anyone have questions? Here's a little bit of step-by-step, but there's only one person that's able to own the application in Zoom Grants, unfortunately, and we do apologize and wish it was more updated. That person can view and edit, of course, they can go into the account, but what their important job too is that they can add collaborators. So collaborators can go in and edit, but each year, if you're just a collaborator, you cannot get in to open the new application each year and find it and put it into the program, unfortunately. So collaborators do have a limit on what their availability is. And so you can see under the collaborator is they do have to be invited to participate with the person who's the owner. And they do have to get permissions from that person to put things in like documents or budgets or so on and so forth. Does anyone need any help with ownership and access of collaborators and others on the team? I'm not seeing anyone. Great. Fabulous. Other Zoom grants help that you want walked through anything. Again, we just updated the questions slightly by removing COVID language in the questions or the eligibility questions or the help language. Now, if you want to put narrative in there about COVID, a circumstance, or how you've done well since, you're more than welcome to. We just took that out so that you knew that the board members don't expect you to have to address anything unless you determine that's a good thing to address. So that's about all we changed on a few of the questions was things like the language. But does anybody have any Zoom grants questions? Do we want to walk through anything inside Zoom grants, or do you feel pretty comfortable kind of maneuvering around and getting the application done? We didn't change the budget worksheet. We didn't change the QE. We didn't change the smart sheet. The smart sheet is the additional document sheet. You know, that one that you have to go into and add what cities you did events in. We did not really change that much. The other document, the last one is don't forget you need to go and do the evaluation from 2 years prior. So you'd want to do your 2022 evaluation. It's not really hard to do. You just need to have a number. That evaluation is done from the 2 previous years, so that would just be for 2022. Anybody have questions on any of that yet? Wow, you guys are Zoom grants experts. That's fabulous. I'm not a fan of Zoom grants. Not that I should say that out loud. My nickname for Zoom grants, Daniel doesn't like me to share this. My nickname for Zoom grants is 2015. So, because I think it's trapped right there. But you didn't hear that from me. All righty, let's go ahead and I'm going to turn the PowerPoint back on really quick. And move. Daniel, is there anything you want to do for reminders before we move into other sections of the review today that you want to just emphasize or share? Tricks or tips before I exit about that would be helpful to the team?
Just like regarding like Zoom grants or anything within
the
application itself. Okay. I'm trying to think of like anticipating questions for like people that may not be here. I don't think so. Like you said, we really didn't change much. I think as far as the questions go, they're pretty much the same. QE sheet is the same. Yeah, I would just say like if you're having trouble with adding collaborators or anything technical, we're just happy to help. So just let us know.
Okay, thanks, Daniel. I'm going to move into the next section. Again, this is our very favorite section. This is the qualifying expenditures worksheet. This can be challenging, and we can help you through this. Also, I want to start the beginning with sharing that we do work with our accountant quite often to get answers for you. So as you fill this out, if you have specific questions that are to your organization, that are for a particular situation that took place, we have no problems at all contacting our accountant and sharing your very specific question and getting you a good answer back so you can complete the form feeling confident that you've explained your situation or put in the numbers in the right areas that you have questions about. So feel free to let us know what the specifics are for any kind of situation, and we'd be happy to get you an answer back pretty quickly. She's pretty good about returning all of those messages back. So it's got many, many tabs, as you know, that we did not change any of the tabs. We only updated the dates. You can see 4, 5, and 6 have now been updated. Instead of 21, 20, and 19, they're now 20, 21, and 22, and things like that. So just know those are the tabs. Lots of definitions. We haven't changed any of that information for you. Still looks the same as it did before. Scary. I mean, it looks the same as before. So just know that that's there for you. If you need walking through that, we'd be happy to walk through that with you at a technical support session, or if you have general questions today. Things to know: minimum qualifying expenditure was approved by council in, I'm going to say March, of $390,000, which is the 3-year average. The salary cap was not changed. It is still the same. And, you know, we mentioned again, the lobbying and fundraising expenses need to be backed out, please. And then this says 20 and 21, but it's 21 and 22 tabs should match any changes made by the ZAP program. So make sure you put in what you receive from ZAP each year in there. If you have things that we think are the salary cap, it's 97. Let me go back. Sorry about, oops, I did not mean to not share. I meant to change the PowerPoint, excuse me. Okay, the salary cap is 97 and change. We have not upped that. That might be a little stressful. The board will likely be considering that this summer, if that should be updated as well, because that number, I believe, is from like 2017 or 18 or before that even. So that's the current salary cap now.
Yeah, I was just wondering like what, like whose salary is that referring to, or?
Most of the time it refers to the CEO or the president.
Okay, so just
I'm so
anyone's
sorry.
salary.
Is my audio going in and out for everyone? I'm sorry.
A little bit.
Okay, I'll try and talk just straight this way. It's hard. I want to talk like moving, and microphone doesn't pick that up. Okay, so normally, as far as I know, it is the salary cap related to the CEO. But it looks like somebody wrote back in the notes, if you want to look at the chat in this message, saying it's on the actuals page of the QEs, I think what they're saying. And so I can get back to you also on that. Again, we've always just referred to it as CEO and president, but I imagine it does also others. But let me get clarification and get back to you on that cap. For this whole group, I'll send you an email.
Samantha, the actual use is a question that I have.
Oh,
sorry. I didn't mean to confuse you in the middle of that.
No.
Are you ready for that question?
Yeah.
So on the actual use tab, line E22, it says 2021 total amount from ZAP. And I'm thinking, looking at last year's, that just didn't get updated and should read 2022 total amount from ZAP.
Yeah, so if there are years that look funky, they may not have updated. Their date is written in that QE in so many places. We update the years each year, but we find old stuff. Like this year, I found a couple that still said 2017 and 18. So I apologize. If you think it's the accurate year, it's an error on our part, just because we update the exact same one every year. It's not a template, unfortunately, or it's a plug and play. It's more manual. So yes, it would be, you need to share what your 22 is. And of course, you won't get your 22 until later this month, right? When you get your payment. So thanks for that. Okay. Okay. Related party transactions. Oh, I don't know if I did this right in this one thing. Oh, talking about some of your programs. If you have any narrative that you need to put in there, feel free. You can always attach additional documents. There is room for you to do that. But we do need things explained. It's better to have the board have explanations than have to come back to you and spend time, or to have our accountant not know what's going on. Now, again, the accountant will get a hold of me for anything that they don't understand, and we will get out to you. If you get an email from me, once you've turned your application and applications will close, most of the time it's going to be pretty urgent for you to get right back to us if possible. Or if you have an accountant out or the firm isn't responding, you can let me know. But typically it's a pretty quick turnaround that we need from you. This year, you'll notice in the email that I sent a little bit of language around the related party transactions. We don't have a lot of related party transactions, and we're not changing anything around the related party transactions. What is being asked for a little bit louder potentially is that the board is asking that if you do have related party transactions that you put into your application, please submit all the appropriate paperwork that is required. So if you have a board who's made a decision and agreed to allow related party transactions, that's great. We need to not just know that as in like, hey, Samantha, or hey, board, we put this in there. We need the minutes from that meeting, meaning like a document attached. They want the proof. They want the paperwork that the board indeed made that decision. So nothing's new, except they are just emphasizing that we stick to the original guidelines and rules about submitting the appropriate paperwork around any kind of related party transactions, sorry. Any questions about related party? I don't think I see any. Okay. Again, the application deadline is Wednesday, May 30th at 5 p.m., no exceptions. Please make sure that you have the notices at zoomgrants.com whitelisted. Those are going to be messages from me, usually pretty directly, or if I'm not around, Daniel. But we try to send things in groups like, we have an update about this, or we need everyone to go back in and relook at this question. It's not often that you get kind of more urgent ones, but please let us know if you feel like you're missing a communication or you're not able to whitelist us. I can maybe send it to you privately through my email. So just know that any notices we receive, also, we kind of recommend that you keep a copy of them for your own records, whether it's this notification that's coming up this month to say, hey, this was your final payment and this is your final amount for 2022. Make sure you record this. Usually you're going to want to make a copy of that email message that comes through Zoom Grants for your own records. So we would just ask for you to think about doing that. Again, we do have something inside the application in Zoom Grants that is a tips and tricks under the application resources library inside Zoom Grants that can help you if you have a hard time maneuvering around in it. Okay, I'm going to stop there for a brief moment, and then I'm going to kind of go into a few things related to the email I sent you about the updates that people might have questions about. But so far, do we have any questions? Okay, great. This is going to be reminders of what the email I sent and some previews. Okay. Okay, the email that I sent was sent to folks, excuse me, back on April 6th, so just a couple weeks ago. Sorry, not April 6th, I'm so sorry, on March 28th, excuse me. And this was just some reminders. So the first one was that the minimum qualifying expenditure has increased to $390,000. No one that was in 2023 approved is in any danger by at least $100,000 or more. Most folks are more of not qualifying for that 3-year average of 390 folks are safe. That was one thing the board and the council wanted to make sure was that people weren't going to be lost that were currently in tier 1. So that has been double checked. The next one is talking about the financial health test criteria going concern. If you remember when COVID first started, the board voted to allow applicants to not submit information related to the health test question 6, which is the going concern on your returns. So it returns. The board is not looking to scrutinize or be rough on anyone. They just want to see how organizations are doing post-COVID. So in 20, 21, and 22, there was no requirement. Sorry, I did that wrong. So 21, 22, and 23, there was no requirement to put in that in your financials. So work with your internal finance team and your external team that the number 6 going concern is back on. The board does want to see how organizations are doing post-COVID. So does anyone have questions about that particular going concern question being put back into the application? No? All righty. Related party transactions we are just talked about, but if you let me know if you have any questions. One thing I'll emphasize here is one of the reminders was qualifying expenditures worksheet repeat comments. So each year after your have been approved by council, I send you feedback based on our accounting firm. The accounting firm provides a little packet that I give back to you. It comes usually in 2 different documents. I send in one document together, but it's under their observations, findings, kind of that document that has those listed. It's basically free accounting help from the accountant saying you should do these things and giving you free advisement. If you have in your observations anything that says repeat comments, for the most part, you need to work on those and fix those. And I'm just going to give a couple examples to help you understand. The accountant is quite expensive for us to pay for. On average, we have about 2 hours per application for the accountant to work on. There were folks last year that took 6 hours. And so when we have 25 grantees and some of them are taking 6 hours, it takes a lot out of the budget for admin that we can't do other things like order collateral for you, hold events, and do kind of other promotional things like summer activities. So I would just ask when you talk to your finance team internally and externally, if our accountant has put in, she's going to put it in bold, she's going to underline it, and it's going to say the phrase, this is a repeat comment. Please have them examine that to fix it. We're seeing people who had repeat comments. Again, our accountant firm has been with us for 20 years, so they know us and the grantees up, down, and sideways, and are quite familiar. Some of these comments have been listed as repeat comments for 6 and 7 years. And again, it costs us money for them to go in and fix it. Now, there's a little bit of a difference. If your accounting firm has a hard time with 1 or 2 of the comments and says, this is just an interpretation of GAAP, that's understandable. We will let our accountant know that they need to not write, this is a repeat comment, that this is really an accountant interpretation of GAAP. Then we'll stop having that put in there and it won't be a worry anymore. But I would look through yours because some of them really do need updating. I would say the majority of them need updating. It's probably only very few that don't need updating and that we can just have them stop making the comment. It's their interpretation versus your accounting firm's interpretation of a particular GAAP principle. So please look for those comments. We'd love to get the bill down. The bill was really high and we had to pull from other budgets last year. It was really high. It was $62,000 just for tier 1 or for the reviews over of this area and a couple of the tier 2s. So anything we can do to help with that budget would be wonderful if possible. So that's just a reminder to look at your repeat comments. Again, if you have questions about particular ones or your accountants want to push back on them, let me know. We have no issues. We've already had people pushing back and saying, we agree to these 4, we don't agree to these 2. And I'm just, okay, we'll let our accountant know not to to do this as an interpretation, and we'll just drop it from here, but that'll help them know not to do that in the future and cost less money. So anyone have questions on that? I know that was really kind of messy. No.
Samantha,
Yeah,
is that the CPA checklist that we're looking at for that?
Yeah, I'm sorry it's called that. I should probably rename it something different. I just inherited that name, but yes, that's the CPA checklist. And then I think about the second page after the financial, I hope I'm remembering this, after the financial health test, maybe a separate document. It's more of a narrative. It's her noticing things. It's really just a narrative. And she points like item 1 and she tells you what she's talking about. It's a narrative. So it's going to be mixed in with narrative language.
Samantha, I have a question. This is Janet Fine.
Yeah.
In repeat comments, in terms of addressing them to the auditors, what is the best mechanism to do that? So, if we're to address a repeat comment in reporting to within our QE worksheet, within a separate document that's uploaded with our application, what would be the best way?
I'm going to answer that in two different ways. What has been recommended by our CPA firm is that organizations provide their external CPA firm and internal firm with ZAP's actual checklist. So providing your accountant firm with what our accounting firm provides them, so they can actually see exactly what was written by the accounting firm and what they're referencing very specifically. That's been the number one ask from our CPA firm beyond everything else is please get that information and emphasize for them to look at the repeat comments, but give them the actual document.
Okay.
Addressing it would be in the QE sheet, yes, because that's what she's examining. So she revises your QE. You all should have gotten, I don't know if you noticed this, people might not notice this, but when I send the package back to you, there's actually a tab that is labeled revised QE. So she actually goes in, I say she because I use one point of contact, but there's a team. She puts it in there as revised. And so you can see where she's tried to fix things or she's had to fix things in order to get your final qualifying expenditure number. That's what she's trying to get to, right? Her work is to get to the qualifying expenditures final number that we can base your do the percent on to give you your dollar amount. And so if anything you can do to fix the next year's QE sheet based on the checklist narrative that has the repeat comments or comments in general, and her revised QE sheet would be another thing that would be good to look at before you do your QE sheet for this next upcoming year. Does that help?
That does help. Thank you very much.
Has everyone gotten their packages? Do you feel like, because I send them from Zoom grants, I send them all out at one time. Everybody should get them. If you haven't, let me know. I'm delighted to send that back out to you. Or if you haven't gotten both pieces or you don't know how to maneuver through the pieces, let me know and I'd be happy to speak for a couple minutes. I should have just pulled that up in here, somebody's for an example, but any other questions related to that? No? Okay. And this first year, of course, we'll work with you on making these updates and changes. We know that everyone's not going to find every little thing the first time. All righty. Other things the board just wants to emphasize is acknowledging of the program. When you do your performance, Daniel and I and that board members have been to many of your performances at the beginning of a show or at the end of the show, recognizing your sponsors or your supporters or partners, making sure ZAP is part of that. In your annual report, your website, things like that, please make sure that ZAP is recognized. If you need more collateral, we're going to be putting a few things into Spanish. We're going to be ordering more regular banners, clings, and so on, as well as lots of tchotchke this year, like fun activity things like balloons and pens and tattoos and stuff. We'll be ordering those things in May, so hopefully you'll have them for this summer. And then we also are holding an open house in October again, a second open house for you to come and get some more of that fun collateral. So we'll share once we have that fun collateral and the collateral in Spanish, and then just extra collateral for you as soon as we get it. We've talked about the removal of COVID questions. If you have any questions or anything, again, just remember you're more than welcome to put narrative in your pieces that have to do with COVID, but the board's not expecting you, so don't feel like you have to for any reason. I will be out of the office April 20th through May 3rd, so a solid 2 weeks. If you have questions about the application or you receive emails from Daniel during that time, just be sure to respond to them because he'll be in the office. If you need anything on technical support or questions for the accountant, I'll be out of town during that time. Please send them to Daniel. Yes, we're processing final payments for distribution in April. I think you'll be happy. We did talk about the summer program. I'll be reaching out to you about the final destination party. We'd like to maybe see if some grantees can participate. We think you'd actually like the way that we're going to do it this year. Typically in the past, we've had no or just a couple grantees or one or two at the most participate. We're going to try and open it up to everyone this year and see how it goes to open up the final destination to the families. Typically, that event is attended between 300 and 500 families or people come to that event for ZAP. Reminder, if you have a free day or you want your days promoted for discount days before, during, or after, because we do get calls about it and we'd love to help you promote after, if that's what you're more comfortable with, or before, please let Daniel know. That needs to go to Daniel. And then let us know if you need technical support in the applications, Zoom grants. Last couple items I have for you, and then we're done, is if you have any newsletter content for April. Again, I mentioned the topic was those families with autism and any kind of support or offerings that you have for them. The very last item I'm going to mention that isn't going to affect very many people, but I just wanted to let you know, is besides the updates I just recently provided for you, we're going to be updating the financial health test failure guidelines. So if you failed the financial health test in the past or you're worried about failing in the future, we do have guidelines that hasn't been emphasized during COVID for you to turn a report or a plan in, but that has to be done going forward. So just know that if you did not pass the financial health test assessment, usually there's about 2 a year only. It's usually not more than 2 organizations in the tier 1 and zoologicals that don't pass. There's always been guidelines to turn a plan into the board to let them know how you're rectifying your situation. That was kind of eased up, if you will, during COVID. We are bringing that back gently. And so we've tried to make the guidelines more helpful to you and more informative and more clear as we can, and just more descriptive of where we need to get to for the board. So if you did not pass in 23, I'll be reaching out to you in May, maybe even before May, hopefully, to get you where you need to be to turn a plan in for your application each year. So the way it's going to go in the future is if you fail a financial health test assessment, you'll be notified when you're notified if your application was approved. When that takes place, you'll have 90 days to put a plan together for the board. And then twice a year, you would provide progress reports. This year, because we didn't give warning and because the year has passed, if you did not pass the financial health test, you'll be given 30 days beyond the application. So at the end of June this year, those who did not pass the financial health test in 23, just know that I'll be calling you and we'll be giving you, lots of help this first year as we get back into that. I know today was really full of a lot of tidbits and side notes and things, but please call us for technical support if you need any kind of help or have any questions about your QE sheet. Is there anything that we can answer to wrap up today? No? Great. Well, I'm so glad you're versed in Zoom grants. That's fabulous. And that you know the program so well. That's great too. And that you're willing to sit through a Friday morning presentation. That's fabulous as well. So if there's no more questions, I think I'm going to go ahead and give you 55 or 56 minutes of your life back. It might actually be a nice day and worth out taking a walk instead, right? Getting some air. Okay. Daniel, anything I'm missing? Anyone else? Anything we're missing? No?
I don't think so. I think we got it. Yeah, good to see you all.
Have a wonderful weekend. Whoever's attending performances, hope you have a great time. Whoever's putting them on, best. And we'll chat with you soon. Thanks. Bye.